Hi friends, welcome to our channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about Angular. So already you might have heard a term. We have a full stack, Java full stack, nothing but mean and mel. So in case of Java full stack programming, either I can use Angular or React as a front end. So finally, this Angular and React, so these two going to work as a front end in a full stack application. It's completely, not only Angular, the entire full stack is completely based on JavaScript library files. So finally, Angular is the one of the uh, latest trending technology to create a front end application. So finally, in case of Java full stack, I have two options to create uh, a front end. Either I can go for Angular or I can go for React. So anyhow, in this video, we are going to discuss about how to make a front end application by using Angular. So in this series, we are going to discuss about these topics. So we will be discussing about what is component, data binding, directives, service, router, pipes, and the forms. And at the end, we'll discuss about a crude operation in Angular by using RESTful web services. Already in our previous video, we have discussed how to make a RESTful web services by using Spring Boot. The same way, at the end of this series of videos, at the end we'll see how to make a REST, RESTful web services by using Angular. So finally, these are the topics we are going to discuss in this series. So now coming to this particular video, we are going to concentrate on the very first topic, nothing but component. In the upcoming videos, we will discuss about each topics one by one. So finally, agenda of this particular video is we are going to understand what is Angular component and how to create a Angular project by using Angular IDE. You can use any IDE, even you can use Eclipse IDE as well. But if you want to use Eclipse IDE, you have to install a Angular plugin in your Eclipse IDE. But at the same time, the official IDE is Angular IDE. So that's why what I'm going to in this video, I'm going to use Angular IDE, which is freely downloadable from internet. You can download and you can install in your PC or laptop. Anyhow, you can work on Eclipse as well. But in case of Eclipse, yes, you have to include a plugin for Angular development. First, let us get into this video agenda. In this video, we are going to understand the very basic, nothing but components. We have to understand what is components in Angular. You can look at this slide. Easily you will understand what is component. So component is a collection of three things. One is your business logic, another one is your style, and another one is your view. So business logic is nothing but your code. In case of Java, we will be writing a code on, we will be writing our business logic on a Java. But in case of Angular, since it's based on JavaScript libraries, here we will be writing a business logic code by using a language called TypeScript. So we will be writing our business logic by using TypeScript. TypeScript is nothing but it's the extended version of JavaScript. So already you might be familiar about JavaScript. So the extended version of JavaScript is nothing but TypeScript. So finally here what we will do, we will be writing a business logic by using TypeScript. Next one is style. Already we are familiar how to apply a style by using CSS. Same we will be using here as well. So finally, to write a business logic, I will go for yes TypeScript, which is the extended version of JavaScript, and to apply a style, I will go for CSS. View is nothing but our HTML page. So finally, component is the combination of three things, nothing but your view plus style plus TypeScript, nothing but your business logic. So the end combination of these three, I will say it's a uh, component in Angular. So finally, in Angular, by using TypeScript, I will be writing my business logic. To get a static content, I will be writing in my HTML code. To apply a style to my web page, yes, you know, Angular is a front end uh, full stack tool for creating a web page. So finally, to apply a style, I will be using CSS. First, let us understand what is component in a real life application. Let us look at this slide. With the help of this slide, I hope you will be understanding what is component. Let us take a simple application Snapdeal. We are already familiar with Snapdeal. You can look at the component. So first one is the header component. Inside header component, I may have a child component called search component, and I may have a child component called component inside header component. So finally, here one thing we have to understand, component is nothing but your view and business logic and style. Because in case of such component, the user will enter something in the text box. It has to execute the business logic based on the search, it has to display the result. So finally, the component is nothing but it is going to give a graphical user interface to the user, and based on the user it is going to return some result. So which means component is nothing but it's a HTML or view, plus I may apply a CSS code to make my pages little look and feel, and also main thing is it has to perform the business logic based on the user input. So that business logic, how we will be writing, we will be writing with the help of TypeScript. So finally, this is our component, and one component may have a child component. For example, you can look at the same thing, same slide. I have a header component which is the parent. Inside that, I have two child. One is search as well as cart component. So finally, in an application, there may be multiple component. So I have a header component in Snapdeal, and same way I have a menu component as well as I have a the product component. So finally, I hope friends you got some idea what is component. So component is not just viewing purpose; it's a view and style plus business logic. Because based on my user input, it has to produce some result. So then only it will be a interactive web page. So that's the main aim of component in Angular. And one more point we have to remember, yes, a component can have a child component. So finally, if you look at the scenario, a Snapdeal is coming with lot of component, and inside each component there may be a child component. So then who will be the root component? So that you can see in this slide. By default, each and every component is the child of app component. So app component is the parent one, and below that I may have a menu component, header component, and product component. Maybe header component may have a child cart and search component. So finally, each and every component is the child of app component in case of Angular. So hope friends you got some idea about what is component and what exactly it is going to do. Let us look at the next slide. With the help of next slide, you will come to know how we are creating a component. And as I told you in the beginning, so TypeScript is the extended version of JavaScript. So almost the code is look like Java only. You can look at the left hand side. I am making a class by using class keyword, and I will say what is my class name, and I have to come with the keyword export to export my class. You can look at the below one. Inside this class I will be writing my business logic by using TypeScript, but above that you can see I'm coming with the annotation called at the rate component. Here I will say what is my selector. So selector is nothing but when should I call this if I want to call this particular component, header component or such component or product component, what what is the name I will be using. So that is nothing but selector. If I want to if I want to call a component X, I may use a name X. So that name is nothing but name of the component is nothing but your selector name. So here your class name can be anything, but the component selector name can be different. So I will be saying that I want to run this particular TypeScript, maybe my class, if the request is coming for app hyphen my app. So nothing but selector is nothing but name of the component to call this particular component. See, for example, in your HTML tag, you can take if you want to apply a bold functionality, we will be using the B tag to apply a bold functionality. So finally, B is a tag, nothing but selector to run that functionality. So finally, inside my class, I will be writing my business logic, but if I want to call this functionality, I will come with the tag because it's a front end, right? So that tag is nothing but I will call the selector. And same way, I have to specify what is the HTML file I'm using for this particular component. Because component is nothing but it's a combination of business logic, HTML, nothing but view plus style. You can see how I will specify my uh, HTML file. I will be using a attribute in my component annotation template URL. There I will specify what is my HTML file. And by using style URLs, I can list out. You can look at the syntax. It's a array. I can list out n number of CSS file based on my requirement. So finally, component is nothing but export class my class. There I am going to write my business logic by using TypeScript, and I will be specifying what is my view page, nothing but HTML page, and I will specify my CSS by using style URL attribute inside my at the rate component annotation. So hope friends you got some theoretical idea about what is component in case of Angular. So now I think without delay, I think we can start writing one simple program in Angular by using Angular IDE, which is as I mentioned in the beginning, it's a freely downloadable one. You can download it from the internet and you can install it. And I will show you very simple example with the help of Angular IDE. so that you will be getting a clear picture about what is component and how it is working. So let me take my Angular IDE. You can see it's my Angular IDE, and I have one existing project. So the reason why I'm using existing project in the sense, when we are creating an Angular project, it has to download so many JavaScript library files. So it will be taking a lot of time. When you are creating an Angular project, you will come to know that it will take a lot of time. So I don't want to waste the time. So that's why already I have created my Angular project. So it's very simple. Same as your Eclipse, you can say I want to create a new Angular project. That's it. And you will be entering your Angular project name and then click finish. It will create your Angular project, and it may take little time. It depends your internet speed. It may take little time because it has to download so many JavaScript files from the internet, because TypeScript or Angular is using JavaScript library files. It is running above on your JavaScript files, I mean library files. So that's why I don't want to waste that time. So that's why I came with the I mean already have created a new project. I'm trying to use the same project. So once you created your Angular project, you will be getting this structure. You can look at your SRC. You have something called main.tss. So in programming language, the program will start from the main method. In case of Java, you know that the program will start from public static void main. The same way, main.ts, nothing but TypeScript. It's your starting file. So here I will be specifying what should be my root component. As we discussed in our slide itself, you know that, I hope you remember that slide. App component is going to be your root component. So finally, in the main.ts, I have not written this code by default. Once you created the project, you will be getting all these code by default. So by default, when you are creating an Angular project by using Angular IDE, you will be getting a main.ts, and here you can see it is importing app module, and it is saying that it is my starting component. So now definitely you will be getting question, where is this app component? You can look at my folder app. There I can store all my components. By default, when you are creating a project freshly, you will be getting a component called app component, nothing but your app folder. You can look at your app component. This is your root component, friends. You can look at your app component. You have a HTML file. By default, it will come with some setup codes. I have deleted that codes and I made it as welcome to Angular. So in your case also, if you are creating a project freshly, definitely if you open app.component.html, it will come with some Angular introduction code. Okay. So what I have done for a simplicity, I have deleted that code and I made welcome to Angular. So finally, inside app component, I have a HTML file and I have a CSS file also. You can see this is my CSS file, but we haven't written any code. That's why it's empty. Also, you can see it is coming with its TypeScript as well. Right. So right now, you no need to worry about this one. I think I'm not using this one. Even I can remove this one. You can look at the TypeScript class. I have a class export and have a at the rate component annotation. I'm saying that the selector is app hyphen root to invoke this particular component. And what is a HTML file? Nothing but template URL. It is app.component.html. And what is the style URL I'm using? I'm using app.component.css. So finally, this is my root component. You can look at the class name, it is app component. So finally, whenever you are creating a Angular application, by default, you will be getting a root component called app component. It will look like it will be like a uh, parent for your entire front end or a web application. So finally, that's why you can look at one more time my main.ts. I'm saying that I want to launch my root component, nothing but app module. So now definitely you will be getting a doubt. The component name is app component, but right now we are loading something called app module. Right. So let us look that. What is that? You can look at one one more extra file app module.ts which is inside my app component. So please understand very clearly, friends. So we have our root component, nothing but that is app component, and it is loading my parent component with the help of app module. Let us open this app module.ts and will understand what it is actually doing. Here you can see I'm coming with the annotation called ng module. So these things I no need to, I haven't created. It's created automatically when I create an Angular project. It is coming with the annotation called ng module. So there I am declaring what are the components right now I'm using. So right now I have only one component called, you can look at my TSS file. Right now I have only one component called app component. I think slowly now you can relate. So finally what it is doing, let me explain it once again. So when the application is starting, it will execute main.typescript, nothing but TS. So from there it is loading app module .ts file. So app module ts file, I have registered, declaration is nothing but actually registering a component. I have registered a component app component, and here actually I'm saying that what should be my starting component. So I'm saying that my parent component is app component. So finally, like your as usual programming language in Angular also, it will be starting from main.ts. In the main.ts, I'm saying that I have a parent component called app component, which I have registered in my app module.ts. So now it will go to your app module.ts. In that app module.ts, yes, I have registered my component, and I'm saying that what should be my starting or parent component, nothing but app component. So finally, because of this bootstrap property in your ng module, you can see the annotation, it is ng module. So here I am saying that this is my starting component. And one more thing we have to understand, what are the components we are creating. So right now I have only app component. By default it will get registered or it will get declared in ng module. But in future, if I want to create a new component, so that I have to declare or register in this app module.ts file. And by using bootstrap, I'm telling that what is my starting component, nothing but app component. So right now we'll do one thing, friend. I don't want to make too much theory. Maybe since it's a first video, maybe it look like little theory. Maybe once you comfortable about this uh, first video, so the next video I think I can reduce as much as theory. So as per my app component.html, I'm displaying a message, welcome to Angular. So now what I am going to run this application and I'm going to verify whether it is loading my app component and it is displaying this message or not. So here you can see I have a index.html file. So this index.html file is our starting view page. In the starting view page, I'm saying that I want to display a selector called app-root. Let us go back once again our app component.ts and we'll understand what is selector. You can see if I want to call this component, I'm saying that the selector is app-root. I mean, I'm saying that if I want to call app component, the tag is app-root. And in the component, what I'm doing, I'm including this particular HTML, which is displaying welcome to Angular message. And also in that component, I am including a CSS file, but right now I haven't written any CSS code, it's just a blank. So finally, index.html is look like my starting page. In the starting page, I have specified so which component I have to display in the beginning by using a selector. So now let us run this index.html and we'll observe our output. We'll come to know whether it is displaying our app component or not. Yes, as per our ng model, we have declared that app component is the root component. You can look at our module.tss file once again. We have specified that this is my root component. Also, I have registered it. Okay, I think it's taking little time. Let me stop and run it once again. My starting file index.html. You can see I'm running as Angular web application. You can see it is loading my app component and it is displaying a message welcome to Angular. So hope friends you got some idea what is Angular in case of full stack development and you understood how the component is invoking. I mean, I hope you understood the flow. Let us do one thing. I like to go little more depth so that I think you will get a little more clarity about component. So right now, yes, okay, this is my root component, nothing but app component. Let us do one thing. Let us create our own component. Let me close all the codes. So this is my app component. I'm creating one more component. Let it be my component. You can give any name. For example, I'm just giving a name as my component. You can see the moment you type my, the class name will become my component. So by default, Angular will append component as a text in your component. So I can type just my and then click finish. So it will be creating your component called my component. It may take little time, friends. Yeah. Now you can see inside app, I have my root component called app component, and under that I have a child component. So this point is more important. Under that I have a child component, my component. So there I have a HTML, CSS, and my TypeScript. Let me open my HTML file. And here I'm saying that maybe let me display it in a new line. I'm saying that I want to display text in bold. Let it be I'm I'm just typing some text. I am a component. Simply, I'm just typing a text. And you can look at my TypeScript. So right now, I'm not writing any business logic over here. Simply, it is implementing on init interface, and with the help of at the rate component, I'm saying that what is my selector name. If I want, yes, I can change the selector name. Let me say my selector name should be Valan. You can give any name. And this is your template URL, nothing but your HTML file which it has to loaded. And this is the CSS file. If I want, I can write my CSS code, but right now I'm not writing any CSS code. Maybe we'll do one thing. Later we'll write some CSS code over here. So right now this is my component. As we discussed in the beginning, if I am creating my component, so that I have to register in my app.module.tss file. Sorry, .ts file. Let me verify whether it is registered or not. You can see by default, when we are creating a component, it will get registered in our app module.ts file. And you can see also it is importing my component, nothing but my TypeScript, right? And I have two component as of now. One is app component, another one is my component. But right now, who is the starting one? App component is the parent one. In case if you want to change the parent also, yes, you can change it. Simply instead of app component, you can say my component. That's it. So finally, right now, I have a component, my component, and in the HTML file, I am displaying a message. I am a component. As per my code, what it is doing, it is actually loading my root component, nothing but app component. Let us do one thing. Let us go to our app component.html. It is displaying a message, welcome to Angular. So there, I'm going to call my component. Let me verify once again what is my selector for my component. As per my component, the selector is Valan, right? I mean, as per the recommended, it's better to go for prefix with app. So that's why earlier I was getting a warning. Let us go with the standard. I think that will be the better. So this is my component name app hyphen wala. In the app component, I'm saying that you display welcome message as well as load my component app hyphen wala. I'm saying that you are the root component. Yes, you display welcome to Angular, but at the same time, I'm saying that in the new line, you please load app hyphen Valan as well. So what is app hyphen Valan is doing? You can check your component. So this is my selector app hyphen Valan, and this is the HTML file, and this is the CSS. And right now, yes, I don't have any business logic. So now let us run our index.html once again. Last time it was displaying only welcome to Angular, but this time, since in the app component, I'm loading app hyphen Valan as well. So which means it has to display this particular content as well. Let us run this code and run the index.html and let us verify it. Same way I will say right click on index.html, I will say run as I will say Angular web application. Okay, I think again it's stuck. I don't know what happened. My Angular ID, it's getting stuck on this one. So what I will do anyhow, I will stop it and I will run it once again. So instead of waiting, I'm just running my root component, sorry, index.html file. And what index.html file is doing, it is loading my app component, nothing but my root component. You can look at the output. It is loading my app component. Here it is displaying welcome to Angular, as well as in the new line I have loaded my own component. Hope friends you got some idea, right? So now if I want, let me go to my component.html. I have a bold tag, right? So if I want to apply a CSS, yes, in the CSS file itself, I can say, let me do one thing. Let me go with the standard. I will say for this bold tag, I will say the class name is my bold, and I will save it. And in the my component.css, I will be saying that if the class name is my board, I will say that the text color should be, for example, I'm taking only one property, that will be green. Yes, you can look at our TSS file. I'm saying that if the request is coming for my component, this is the HTML file, this is the CSS file. In my CSS file, I have applied color as green for this particular class. So now if I run this code once again, it has to display my text with clean green color. You can see the beauty of Angular here. I haven't refreshed my page. Let me show you one more time. I'm going to my CSS. I'm applying a color blue. Instead of green, I'm applying color blue. And I will save it. That's it. The moment I save, it will get automatically get reflected. Nothing but single loading. You can look at my browser without refreshing. You can see the changes are reflecting. So this is a plus point. One more plus point of Angular. You no need to redeploy it. So the moment you made a changes, it will get reflect immediately. Hope friends, you got some idea how to use component. And sometimes now you may get one more query. Let me go a little more depth. How to make it dynamic one. So for example, so right now it is displaying simply I am a component. I want to display some message, welcome, and some name. So how to display that? It's very simple. You can go to your component.tss file, and I'm going to declare a variable. Name of the variable is, let it be name, and type of the variable is string. And it's not a Java code, it's a TypeScript code. That's why S is small. And I have a constructor. In the constructor, I will say that this dot name equal, let it be one. So now definitely we'll be getting a question. Yes, in my TypeScript, yes, I have declared a variable, and through constructor I have initialized the variable. But how to access this variable in my component.html file? Nothing but my view page. It's very simple. I can go for double curly braces and I can say that variable name. That's it. So this one we will call as interpolation. We have many more things. Okay, in our upcoming video, we'll see about data binding. I mean, in the next video, we'll see about what is data binding and what are the ways to achieve data binding. Actually, this interpolation is a one type of data binding. I mean, fetching a data or transferring a data from component class to, I mean, TypeScript to or business logic to HTML. So this called as interpolation, and we have many more ways. Okay, we have a. I think in the next video we'll discuss what are the ways to send data from TypeScript to HTML and HTML to TypeScript. So we have separate concept called data binding. So in the next video we'll see about this one. So first let us verify this output. Let us look at our output. You can see without refreshing or without relaunching my application, immediately the changes get reflected in my output, and it's saying that welcome Bala. So hope friends you got basic or introduction about what is Angular and what is the usage of Angular in case of full stack programming, and I hope you got some understanding about uh, components in Angular. So in our next video in this particular series, we'll see what is data binding, how to achieve data binding in Angular. So thanks friends for watching this video. So if you like this video, please subscribe our channel and click on the bell symbol so that as soon as I uploading a new video, you will be getting the notification. Also, you can share it with your friends.